When I get that phone call, I am right in the middle of a board meeting. Director John.
Your wife is getting a maternity checkup at our hospital. Congratulations, you are going to be a father. I just freeze completely.
Liu Nguyen is pregnant. But here is the thing. We have not been intimate in 3 months. 3 months ago, Liu Nguyen said she wanted to hit the gym to lose weight, so she signed up for a personal trainer pass.
Ever since then, she has been going to the gym every single evening without fail. She comes home complaining about being incredibly exhausted and just passes out. I even praised her discipline. Thinking back on it now, I am an absolute joke.
Director Zhang, are you still there? On the other end of the line, the nurse presses me. I ask her exactly which room my wife is in.
I ask while holding back my anger. Maternity ward on the 3rd floor. She is getting an ultrasound. I hang up, staring at a dozen expectant pairs of eyes.
Today's meeting ends right here. Everyone can pack up and go. Assistant Secretary Lum looks pretty shocked. This quarterly review meeting just started 10 minutes ago, and it is already over. I offer zero explanations, grabbing my coat and heading straight for the elevator. 20 minutes later, I am standing outside the hospital maternity ward. Through the glass window, I see Liu Nguyen lying on the examination bed, a clear gel spread across her stomach. The doctor moves the ultrasound probe right across her belly.
She wears this incredibly happy smile, the pure joy of becoming a mother written all over her face. I just wonder who the father actually is. Honey.
Liu Nguyen spots me, eyes lighting up. She asks why I am here. Hospital cold, I tell her. I stare at the tiny embryo on the ultrasound monitor, my feelings completely tangled up. The doctor announces she is 12 weeks along and the baby is perfectly healthy. Liu Nguyen grabs my hand emotionally, saying we are having a baby. But catch this detail, 12 weeks is exactly when she started going to the gym. Congratulations, Director Zhang.
The doctor hands over a printed ultrasound scan. He tells me my wife is in great health and the fetus is developing normally. I take the paper, staring straight at the date and pregnancy weeks listed on it. The fire of pure anger inside me burns even hotter. But I do not lash out. I just calmly say thank you to the doctor. On the way home, Liu Nguyen keeps chattering away about picking a name for our baby. If it is a boy, we call him Zhang Tianbao, and a girl is Zhang Tianhua. She asks what I think. I respond to her. I say it sounds wonderful. Liu Nguyen smiles so sweetly. Then she mentions she still has to go to the gym this afternoon. Her trainer claims proper exercise during pregnancy is actually good for the baby. Dongvu Hin, that 25-year-old gym trainer with a muscular build and a handsome face, totally adored by all his female clients. I have actually met him several times. Whenever Liu Nguyen brings him up, there is this weird, distinct sparkle in her eyes. I tell her not to go today. Just stay home and rest after the checkup. But Liu Nguyen hesitates a bit. No buts, I say, letting my voice drop heavily. Liu Nguyen glances at me and finally decides not to push the issue anymore. That night, I fake sleep. Then I hear her out on the balcony making a quiet phone call. Vu Hien, I am not coming to the gym today. Yes, I went to the hospital. I am pregnant, but he has absolutely no clue. Do not worry. I will handle everything perfectly. Her voice is incredibly soft, but in the dead of night, every single word hits my ears clearly. I close my eyes. My fingers gently rub against a rough ring. The engraved letters on it already fade and completely illegible. I vaguely remember carving something on it with my own hands, but what did I even write? Whenever I try to think about it, my head pounds like crazy. Whatever, I need to focus on Liu Nguyen first. Turns out I am actually being cheated on, and she is planning to keep stringing me along too. Well played, Liu Nguyen. The next morning, I wake up super early while she is still sound asleep. I quietly go downstairs, cooking porridge and frying some eggs. Honey, why are you up so early? When Liu Nguyen comes downstairs and sees breakfast on the table, she looks genuinely surprised. You are pregnant. You need proper nutrition. I flash a smile and tell her to sit down and eat. A quick flash of guilt crosses Liu Nguyen's eyes, but joy immediately covers it up. You are the best husband. She sits down to eat. I sit across from her, just quietly watching. Make it make sense to me. Married for 3 years. So when exactly did she turn into this? The old Liu Nguyen was pure and kind-hearted. We were college friends who started a business together right after graduating, grinding hard side by side. She set up her own advertising firm, and I built an investment company.
We always supported each other. Our relationship was incredibly solid. So when exactly did things start rotting away? She notices me staring and asks why I am not eating.
I mentioned upgrading to a bigger house once the baby finally arrives. She looks right at me, asking if I am actually serious.
Liu Yuyan's eyes light up completely. She says she has wanted to move for ages because this place is too small. She even scouted some villas to show me.
Truth is, I have not looked at anything at all. I just wanted to test her reaction.
Sure enough, the second I mention upgrading houses, she gets totally distracted. She just can never shake her own vain nature. Honey, I love you so much.
Liu Yuyan suddenly stands up and wraps her arms around me. I pat her back gently, but I feel absolutely zero warmth inside.
I tell her I have to handle some work at the company today, so she should rest at home. She agrees, but says she will hit the gym this afternoon. Didn't I tell her to rest?
She insists the trainer said exercising during pregnancy is super important. Plus, at just 12 weeks, it is still perfectly safe for her.
Liu Yuyan stays stubborn, so I just stop blocking her. I nod. Yeah, if she is that desperate to see Dong Wuhian, let her go. I really want to see exactly how long these two can keep up this little act.
Getting to the company, I call Secretary Lem straight into my office.
Secretary Lum, I need you to contact a private investigation firm for me. I need someone looked into. CEO Zhang, who exactly do you want to investigate? Secretary Lum looks pretty shocked. My wife, I tell him straight up. He freezes for a second, then instantly catches on. He just nods, understood, getting on it right away. Barely an hour later, Secretary Lum knocks and walks back in. CEO Zhang, the contact is all set up. Here is their file. I grab the folder from him. Inside is a profile on a highly professional detective agency. I tell him to have their manager come meet me immediately.
Yes, sir. By 3 p.m., a middle-aged guy steps into my office.
Hello, Mr. Zhang. I am Chuang Vi, head of the Mindat agency. Manager Chuang, I need your team to look into my wife, Liu Yuyan.
Every single move she made over the last 3 months. That includes her exact relationship with this fitness trainer named Tung Vu Hien. Understood. What level of proof does Mr. Zhang actually need?
Trung Vi is a total pro, as detailed as possible, preferably video evidence.
No problem. We will have results within a week.
No, I tell him, you get 3 days. I pay double.
Chung Vi gets this bright look in his eyes. Rest easy, Mr. Zhang. You will absolutely get a satisfying answer in 3 days. After seeing Chung Vi out, I lean back in my chair. Liu Yuyan, if you really chose betrayal, then do not expect me to play nice anymore.
That evening, I leave work early and head home. The house is totally empty. Liu Yuyan must still be at the gym.
I flip open her laptop and punch in the password. It is just her birthday numbers. She never even bothered changing it. There are tons of photos saved on this thing. I click through them one by one. Then I suddenly stop on this specific shot. Now get a load of this picture. Liu Yuyan and Dong Vu Hien sitting in a cafe. They are leaning way too close, and his hand is resting right on top of hers. The timestamp shows 2 months ago. I keep scrolling and find a whole bunch of similar photos. Movie theaters, fancy restaurants, public parks.
They look exactly like a deeply in love couple. Meanwhile, I have been walking around completely blind to this for 3 whole months.
Honey, I am home. Liu Yuyan calls out from the front door. I quickly snap the laptop shut and walk back out to the living room. How was the workout today? I ask with a fake smile. Pretty great. Vu Hen says my stamina is quite good. Totally perfect for pregnancy exercises. Liu Yuyan still has this rosy post-workout flush on her cheeks. Oh, really now? What kind of guy is this trainer Tong anyway? Very professional and super responsible, Liu Yuyan says. But her eyes are completely dodging mine. I should probably drop by the gym sometime to check it out. Maybe meet this trainer Tong myself. Liu Yuyan instantly looks incredibly tense. No need for that. You are already so busy with work. Sure, but no matter how busy, a husband should still care about his wife's health. I stare right into her eyes as I say that. Liu Yuyan just drops her head, too scared to look back. Fine, she stammers. I will take you some time. For the next 2 days, I pretend absolutely nothing is wrong. I just go to work and come home exactly like normal. I treat Liu Yuyan with the same careful affection as always.
But behind the scenes, I am already setting up the board. First move, I tell my finance department to pull a full financial audit on Liu Nuyin's own company. Since I am the angel investor for her business, I have every right to see that data, and the results actually shock me.
Liu Nuyin's ad agency looks super glamorous on the outside, but their cash flow is incredibly tight right now. Payments from several major clients still have not hit the account. Without some outside funding, they are in serious trouble.
2 months maximum, and they will go totally bankrupt. She never mentioned a single word of this to me. CEO Zhang, there is actually one more thing.
Secretary Lim reports that Director Liu has been meeting constantly with CEO Li from Tinthern Investments. Word is they are negotiating a capital raise. Li Ming-sun, the founder of Tinthon Investments and my absolute biggest rival in the corporate world.
Hearing this makes me even more certain Liu Nuyen is not just casually cheating on me. She probably has a much darker agenda.
On the third night, Turn V arrives right on time. CEO Zhang, we have the investigation results. He slides over a thick brown paper file. Inside is the full detailed report, along with all the video evidence.
I rip the bag open. Inside is a massive stack of photos and several data disks. This part is just wild. The very first photo makes me clench my fists hard. It is Liu Nuyen and Tong Wuhian hugging outside a hotel. The timestamp shows last month. They have been keeping up this filthy affair for 3 entire months now. They meet at least 3 times a week, Trung Vi explains, constantly booking hotel rooms. I flip through the photos. Every single one feels like a knife straight into my chest. Here is their hotel room video. Trung Vi hands over a disc, noting that the footage is incredibly clear. I do not watch that disc right away. I am terrified I will completely lose control of my emotions. Did you find anything else?
Dong Wuhian owes around 500,000 in black market loans. The collectors are pressing him hard lately.
Plus, Jiang Vei continues, we found that Director Liu has been meeting with Tinthern Investments lately. It looks like she wants to sell off her company shares. Hearing that news, everything suddenly clicks into place for me.
Liễu Như Yên đang hàng với Tống Vũ Hiên và Carrie hắn baby. Now, she wants to cash out, get a divorce, and run far away with him. And her husband? He is quite literally nothing but a walking ATM in her eyes. Our MC suppresses his boiling anger, thanking Manager Trung for his hard work. Trung asks if CEO Zhang needs anything else done right now.
Not right now, Zhang tells him. He will reach out if needed. After sending Trung Vi away, he sits alone in his office, staring blankly at those damning photos.
A solid 3-year marriage, completely trampled on, like it meant absolutely nothing at all. He lights a cigarette, thinking about how to handle this mess. Should he lay all his cards on the table, or play dumb to see how long she keeps acting? Ultimately, he decides to head home first, just to see what kind of performance Liu Nuyen puts on tonight. Back home, she is casually cooking in the kitchen. "Honey, you are home," she says, claiming she made his favorite sweet and sour ribs. She smiles brightly, walking over to give him a very warm welcome hug. But he instantly catches a whiff of her perfume. It is definitely not her usual brand.
He casually asks if she changed perfumes today. Liu Nuyen panics for a split second before blaming it on a co-worker's recommendation, asking if it smells pretty good.
"Smells great," he says with a smile, pulling her into an embrace. Her body stiffens up slightly, but she forces herself to hug him back. During dinner, Liu Nuyen brings up some company business she wants to discuss with him. He plays along and asks her what is going on. She claims her company cash flow is pretty tight lately, hinting they might need a new investor. When he asks if she wants him to pitch in, she declines. She mentions she has already met with a few investment firms, noting that Spirit Investment offers quite decent terms. Spirit Investment? He knows exactly who that is. Sure enough, it is that old fox Li Ming-swan. Zhang furrows his brows, pointing out that the guy's terms are usually incredibly harsh. She carefully replies that it is fine, except they demand full controlling stakes. Zhang notes that losing control means she would not be the boss anymore at all. She brushes it off, saying she only cares about having cash in hand. He looks straight into her eyes, asking if she has truly thought this whole thing through. Liu Nuyen nods, confirming she has, but her eyes totally avoid his. He slowly sets his chopsticks down and leans back into his chair. He mentions they have been married for 3 whole years now.
She agrees time flies, so he asks her how she feels about their marriage.
Liu Nuyin freezes for a second before claiming everything is great and they are very happy together. Is that so? He replies.
Giving a cold little laugh, he admits it feels like she has almost zero attachment left to this family. She acts defensive, asking why he would say that. How could she possibly not care about their family? She hurriedly argues. So he pushes back. Then why are you so eager to sell the company to Lee Ming-soon?
Is that not her life's work? She claims running it alone is just too exhausting, especially now that she is supposedly having a baby.
She claims she just wants to focus on family. But here is where the tension spikes. He walks right over to her, asking if she knows what he hates most.
What is it? She asks, looking up at him with just a little genuine fear. Being lied to.
He stresses every single syllable. He absolutely hates being deceived. Liu Nuyin's face instantly turns pale as a ghost. Honey, what exactly do you mean by that?
Nothing at all, he says. Just a friendly reminder that honesty is the true foundation of marriage. He tells her to sit and eat before the food gets cold.
Liu Nuyin forces a smile, but it is super obvious she is totally panicking inside. Later that night, she sneaks out to the balcony for a phone call.
She tells Vu Hien that her husband might be onto something. She does not know for sure, but he asks some really weird questions today, and she is freaking out. She agrees and tells him to be careful too. Zhang lies in bed, listening to her quiet whispers as the raging fire of anger burns even stronger inside him. All right then, if Liu Nuyin really wants to play games, he will happily play until the bitter end.
First thing the next morning, he makes a firm decision. He is going straight to the gym to personally meet the guy who gave him those horns.
He tells Nuyin he plans to check out her gym this afternoon and maybe meet her personal trainer, Tong Vu Hien, while he is at it. He drops this bomb during breakfast. Today, the spoon in Liu Nuyin's hand almost slips right through her fingers. She stammers that today is not very convenient. She claims Vu Hien has other training sessions lined up. No worries, Zhang replies. He just wants to see the environment and does not absolutely need to meet him. He smiles, asking if she does not want him there. Of course she welcomes him. Liu Nuyin manages to reply with a very stiff, awkward grin. She offers to skip work this afternoon to go with him. Zhang tells her not to bother. She should stick to her schedule, and he can easily go alone.
Liu Nuyin's expression turns increasingly ugly, but she cannot really stop him. Fine, she says she will be there at 3 p.m., asking when he will arrive.
Around 4, he says, deliberately giving her a slightly later time frame. He claims he just wants to watch how she normally does her workout routine.
Liu Nuyin nods, though he can clearly see she is extremely tense on the inside. Later that morning, back at his own company office,
he specifically digs into Tong Vu Hien's background. 25 years old, a recent graduate from the local sports academy. He has worked at this gym for 2 years. A pretty handsome guy, super popular with all the female clients. Most importantly, the guy is drowning in black market debt. That $500,000 debt makes him desperate for cash, making Liu Nuyin his perfect little money tree. At 2:30 p.m., Zhang leaves work early and heads straight for the gym. It is a high-end chain located in a downtown office building, boasting luxurious decor and incredibly advanced equipment. He does not enter immediately, grabbing a seat at the cafe opposite it. He watches through the glass window, keeping an eye on the inside. Right at 3 o'clock, Liu Nuyin shows up in tight workout clothes. Her figure still looks absolutely perfect, without a single hint of pregnancy showing anywhere. The second she steps inside the gym, this tall guy immediately walks right over to greet her. Tong Vu Hien. Even through a thick layer of glass, anyone could clearly see just how surprisingly close these two are. He actually helps carry her bag, standing way too close while they chat, sneaking in little touches here and there. Our guy just orders a coffee, sitting back to watch with total patience. Half an hour later, he spots a scene that makes his temper completely flare up in anger. Over in a gym corner, Tong Vu Hien is guiding Liu Nuyin through some stretches. His hands are resting right on her waist. The way they are posing together looks seriously suspicious. And it gets way worse when nobody else is looking. Tong Vu Hien leans down, whispering something straight into her ear. She instantly blushes and giggles. He clenches his fist super tight, almost rushing in to deliver a total beatdown, but somehow he holds it all back. Now is not the time.
Right at 4 o'clock, he finally steps into the gym. The polite receptionist greets him, asking if he wants to register or just do a trial run.
He replies that he is looking for his wife, who is taking a personal training class inside. The girl asks for her name, and he drops it. Liu Nu Yen. The receptionist nods and promises to contact her. Very quickly after that, Liu Nu Yen shows up, though the expression on her face looks pretty unnatural.
She walks over, grabbing his arm while calling him hubby. She happily mentions she just finished her stretching routine, then casually asks how effective it was. He just smiles back and asks. She claims it was great, praising trainer Vu Hien as super professional. Really?
Well then, he absolutely needs to meet this trainer Vu Hien in person. Liu Nu Yen bites her lip, quickly making an excuse that he is busy guiding other students, suggesting they just take a tour around the place first. He agrees easily. Liu Nu Yen leads him all around the whole gym, pointing out the different types of equipment and talking about the training courses.
He listens closely, keeping a sharp eye out. Now watch carefully, because right over by the heavyweights, he finally spots Tong Vu Hin.
The guy is guiding a female student through a squat routine. His movements are quite precise, looking genuinely professional on the surface.
Liu Nu Yen whispers that this is trainer Vu Hien. He just nods, casually strolling right over to ask if he is indeed trainer Tong.
When Tong Vu Hien looks up and sees him, a quick flash of nervousness crosses his eyes, though he rapidly masks it and acts completely normal.
The trainer asks who he is. He extends a hand, introducing himself clearly as Jiang Bak Thon, Liu Nu Yen's husband. The guy nervously acts polite.
The trainer shakes his hand, claiming Miss Liu mentions him all the time. Calling her Miss Liu like that is certainly a very interesting choice.
He asks him to take good care of his Nu Yen, mentioning he heard she made great progress lately. The trainer quickly replies she is highly gifted and incredibly hardworking.
Tong Vu Hien laughs, but our guy easily notices the guy's hand is trembling just a tiny bit. Why so nervous? He casually asks about her health condition, dropping that since she is pregnant right now, he worries the exercise intensity might be too high. The second those words leave his mouth, Tong Vu Hien's face visibly changes. Pregnant. He shoots a look at Liu Nu Yen, eyes full of shock. Jiang Bak Thon just confirms it, 12 weeks along. Mildly, he asks if Nu Yen hadn't told him yet. Tong Vu Hien stammers out a quick no, completely caught off guard. He turns his head to look at Li Nu Yen. Her face is completely pale as a sheet. He questions why she never told trainer Tong about the pregnancy. This is highly important. It affects her entire training plan. Liu Nu Yen forces out a stiff smile, making up a terrible excuse that she simply forgot. He raises his voice. How do you forget something that big? You can feel the tension, right? Other gym members slowly start staring at their mounting drama. She tugs at his arm, begging her husband to go home and talk. But he is not in a rush, firmly brushing her hand away. He continues talking right to Tong Vu Hin. He warns the trainer that now he knows about the pregnancy, any future training sessions must be extremely careful. The guy stutters out yes. Tong Vu Hin doesn't even dare to look him in the eye. Casually, he brings up her praising his professionalism, asking how long he's been doing this. 2 years, he says. Then he presses further. What about his family? Is he married? That question makes Tong Vu Hien visibly more tense. He quietly says no. Oh, then surely he must deeply understand the mindset of a protective husband. He pats the guy firmly on the shoulder, saying, a wife going out always makes people worry. Tong Vu Hien's expression keeps getting uglier by the second. The trainer nervously promises to take good care of Miss Liu. Our guy just laughs, telling him he appreciates the trouble, before slowly turning back toward Liu Nu Yen. He smiles brightly. Time to go home, Nu Yen. He's cooking her favorite braised pork tonight. Liu Nu Yen nods quickly, rushing to pack up all her stuff. Right when they leave the gym, he shoots one last glance at Tong Vu Hien. The guy is just standing there, face completely pale, fists clenched tight. Listen, kid. This is only the beginning. On the drive back home, Liu Nu Yen stays completely silent the whole way. He watches her tight expression through the rearview mirror, easily sensing just how incredibly stressed she is inside. He casually breaks the silence. Nu Yen, Trainer Tong seems like a pretty decent guy. He says it totally on purpose. She nervously agrees, her voice actually shaking a little bit. He adds that the trainer seemed strangely tense today. Was it because his sudden appearance made him uncomfortable?
She quickly agrees, using their first meeting as an excuse. Makes sense. He just nods along with her lie.
And oh yeah, earlier he seemed genuinely shocked about the pregnancy thing. Did she really never bring it up to him even once?
Liu Nuyen stays quiet for a long while before answering. She claims it wasn't necessary to tell him. He pushes back. Why isn't it necessary? He is her personal trainer. This directly involves her training safety after all. She softly replies that she will pay more attention. Are you hiding something from me? I suddenly slam the brakes, turning to look right at her. She says no. What could she possibly hide from me? Liu Nuyen avoids my eyes completely. Good then. I start the car back up, telling her I just feel like husband and wife should be completely honest with each other. Back home, Liu Nuyen heads straight upstairs, saying she wants to rest. I don't stop her. I just sit in the living room and pull out my phone to call Trung E. I tell Manager Trung I need his guys to keep a close eye on Tong Woo-hyun. I want to know exactly what his next move is. He says, understood, Mr. Jung. I also tell him to carefully check the specific partnership terms between Tintan Investment and Liu Nuyen's company. He promises to have the results for me tomorrow. Hanging up the phone, I quietly head upstairs to check on Liu Nuyen. She's on a call in the bathroom. Her voice is super low, but I can still make out some of what she's saying. She whispers that I am getting suspicious. I showed up out of nowhere today and purposely brought up the baby. His reaction was way too obvious, so what should they do? Then she says, all right, she understands. I quietly wait, then head back downstairs. A plan is already forming in my head. If they really want to play games, I'll play with them. Until the bitter end. Early the next morning, I wake up way earlier than usual, whipping up a huge, delicious breakfast for Liu Nuyen. She asks why I am up so early today. Liu Nuyen comes downstairs looking surprised. I tell her I just wanted a little extra time with her. I smile and say, after meeting Coach Tung yesterday, I think he's actually a pretty decent guy. We should invite him over for dinner sometime. She gasps in shock. Liu Nuyen almost completely chokes on her milk. Invite him to our house? Yeah, absolutely. Since he's been taking such good care of her, we should really give him a proper thank you. Now watch this. Liu Nuyen nods, but I can clearly see how incredibly tense she is on the inside. She tells me I don't need to do that. It's just not very convenient. What's inconvenient about it? I look Liu Nuyen dead in the eyes, asking if she just doesn't want him to come. She says no. She just feels like it's pretty unnecessary. Well, I think it's very necessary. I keep pushing it. Let's just decide on this weekend. I'll even cook the food myself. Liu Nuyen's face goes totally pale, but she just can't refuse. She stammers out an all right, saying that sounds great. I pretend to look really happy, telling her to just mention it to him today. Tell him we both want to invite him over for a nice meal. Liu Nuyen reluctantly nods her head. Once I get to the company, I immediately call Secretary Lum in. I tell Secretary Lum to help me set something up. I am hosting a guest at my house this weekend. She asks if there is anything specific I need prepared. I say, no need to make it too complicated. A family dinner is fine. Just make sure to prepare a really good bottle of wine. She understands. Around noon, Trung V sends me the full report on Tong Woo-hyun's movements from last night. Just as I thought. After Liu Nuyen left the gym, he immediately took off, went straight to a bar, drank heavily, and discussed something with a few friends. Looking at his serious expression in the photos, they were definitely discussing something pretty important. Plus, Trung V also found out that the loan sharks coming after Tong Woo-hyun's 500,000 black market debt have already started making moves. Someone even went to the gym looking for him yesterday. Looks like his situation is getting worse, which is perfect. A cornered beast is exactly when they do the craziest things. In the afternoon, I get a phone call from Liu Nuyen. She tells me she already talked to Coach Tong about this weekend. She says he actually agreed to it. That is great, I say, faking my excitement. Let's plan for 6 p.m. on Saturday then. I will prep a whole table of delicious food. She agrees. I ask her how her body is feeling today, if anywhere is feeling unwell. She says she is doing all right, just feeling a little bit tired. I tell her she shouldn't go to the gym today. Just stay home and rest up. She refuses, saying she already made an appointment with Coach Tong. Liu Nuyen hài ý argue back. I tell her health is most important. Missing one day of training won't hurt. She insists it's genuinely fine. Besides, she says he already adjusted the whole training plan just for her. I let out a cold laugh. She really just can't wait to run off and see Tong Vu Yin. I tell her, all right then, just make sure to stay safe. She knows.
That night, Liu Yin comes home a whole hour later than usual. I ask her why she is back so late today.
She says training just took a little longer today. Coach Tong said he wanted to help her set up a specialized pregnancy workout plan. I say he is sure being kind. I smile and ask if she told him I am really looking forward to the dinner on Saturday. She says she told him and he is looking forward to it too.
Whenever Liu Nuyen lies, she never dares to look me in the eye. Good then. After dinner, Liu Nuyen heads out to the balcony to make another call.
I don't even eavesdrop this time because I already know exactly what they are saying. They are just scheming on how to deal with Saturday.
You know what is crazy? I have pretty much figured out their relationship, but what they don't know is that I already hold all the evidence. Saturday's dinner will be their final chance to put on a show. In the exact moment I lay my cards on the table, I grab my phone, shooting a text to Trung V. Have your guys on standby near my house Saturday night. On Saturday afternoon, I get off work early to prep dinner.
Liu Nuyen also comes home way earlier than usual, looking incredibly tense. She asks me if I need her to help with anything.
She asks, just standing right at the kitchen door. I tell her, no need, go get some rest. I can handle it myself. I reply without even looking up. She says she will go take a shower and change clothes. I agree. I keep myself busy cooking while my mind is completely focused on tonight's master plan. At exactly 6 p.m., the doorbell rings. Liu Nuyen scrambles to open the door before I can, a super unnatural smile plastered on her face.
Vu Hian, you made it? Dong Vu Hian stands at the door, holding some flowers, apologizing to Liu for being late.
He hands over the gift. Liu Nuyen accepts the flowers, her face blushing slightly. Walking out from the kitchen, I see this and pure rage flares up inside me. But I force a smile and walk over. Welcome, Coach Tong. Come on in, I say, reaching my hand out. Thanks for the invite, Zhang. Tong Vu Hian shakes my hand, but his palm is completely sweaty. No need for formalities. We are friends here. I pat his shoulder. Come sit down. The food is almost ready anyway. We sit down in the living room while Liu Nuyen grabs fruit. Coach Tong, I heard you graduated from the sports academy. I take the lead here. Yeah, I majored in sports rehab, Tong Vu Hian answers, but his eyes keep glancing toward the kitchen. Great major, I say. That field must have huge potential right now. The income is all right, just not a very stable one. Oh, why is it unstable? I ask him deliberately. It relies on session fees, and client numbers fluctuate quite a lot. He looks a bit awkward saying it.
Ever thought about opening your own gym or something similar? I have. He hesitates slightly. But what? Are you just short on capital right now? I push.
I ask straight up. The question stuns Tong Vu Hian completely. He never expected me to be so direct. It is hard to say.
No worries at all. I am into investing. If the project is good, I might fund it.
Liu Nuyen brings the fruit out just then. Hearing our conversation, her hand visibly shakes for a quick second. Honey, what are you two talking about? She asks stiffly. I am just talking some investments with Coach Tong. I laugh. He wants to open a gym, which honestly seems like quite a solid idea. Is that right? Liu Nuyen shoots Tong Vu Hian a look. But investing needs a detailed business plan, and you really have to assess the risks too. I keep right on going. Coach Tom, do you have a specific plan yet? Nothing too detailed just yet. Tong Vu Hian is getting more and more tense. Take your time, no rush. I stand up. Let's eat first. We can talk while we eat. At the table, I purposely open some red wine to celebrate our friendship. Watch this. He raises his glass to toast, but I notice his hands are totally shaking. Since she is pregnant, Liu Nuyen cannot drink, so she just has some juice instead. How is the wine, Coach Tong? I ask. Very rich and tasty. Tong Vu Hian takes a massive gulp. Then drink up. Nobody is going home sober tonight. After that, I keep pouring him wine, and he never refuses. Maybe it is just nerves, or maybe he really needs some liquid courage right now. He drinks incredibly fast. Within half an hour, he is getting pretty buzzed. You hold your liquor quite well, Coach. I laugh. Just average, he replies, but his tongue is already starting to slur a bit. Let's pop open another bottle then, I say. Honey, isn't that enough already? Liu Nuyen asks, looking quite worried about this. It is fine, guys. Drinking is totally normal. I shoot her a cold glare. What do you know? She does not dare speak up. Another half hour passes, and Tong Vu-hien is visibly drunk. Jang, let me toast you. He stumbles up with his glass. All right, I stand up to toast him back. Jang, you are a truly good guy.
Tong Vu-hien pats my shoulder. Liu is just so lucky to marry you. Is that right?
I smile. But lately, she seems quite distracted to me. No way, not at all. She loves you. Tong Vu-hien slurs loudly, his eyes completely glazed over from all the alcohol.
Is that true? I look over at Liu Nguyen. Do you really love me? Of course I do.
She answers incredibly fast, but her voice definitely trembles. Then why do you come home so late lately? Aren't you supposed to be at the gym? I ask.
Does working out really go that late? I press harder. Sometimes I just stay behind and chat with friends for a bit. Which friends? She freezes, completely speechless. And right here, Tong Vu-hien opens his drunk mouth. Do not doubt her, Jang. She really loves you a lot. How would you know? I turn my body to face him. I always hear her mention you. She says that you treat her really well. Tong Vu-hien slurs blindly. Is that so? What else did she actually say? She said, he stops completely, suddenly seeming to realize that he has just said way too much to me. Said what? I demand. Nothing. It is nothing. Tong Vu-hien shakes his heavy head. Vu-hien, you drank way too much. Let me drive you home. Liễu Như Yên, chậm rất fast. No need. Just let him finish speaking first. Ming press her shoulders right back down. Coach Tong, what were you about to say? It is really nothing. All right then, I will not press the issue. It is getting quite late, so I will have Liễu Như Yên take you home, Coach Tong. No need. I can just catch a cab myself. Tong Vu-hien stands up and stumbles his way toward the door. Hold on, I call out to him. Coach Tong, tonight was a really fun chat. We definitely need to keep in touch more often. All right, about that investment. Think it over carefully. If you get any good ideas, just come find me anytime.
Tong Vu-hien freezes for a second, then nods. After seeing him out, it is just me and Liễu Như Yên left in the living room.
She quickly tries to explain. Honey, he drank way too much and was talking nonsense. Please do not mind him. I tell her I do not mind at all. I say it casually, feeling like the two of them are just awfully close. Then again, he is her personal trainer. They see each other a lot, so being slightly close makes sense. Oh really? I ask, staring right into her eyes. Is there something you want to tell me? She insists she has absolutely nothing to hide. Good, I reply, before turning around and starting to clear the dishes. I tell her to go rest upstairs and let me handle the cleanup. She offers to help, but I remind her that pregnant women really need their rest.
Liễu Như Yên hesitates for a moment, but finally heads upstairs. Washing dishes alone in the kitchen, my mind is already calculating my very next move.
Tonight was just a little test. The real drama is still waiting in the wings. Monday morning rolls around, and I purposely wake up an hour late.
Liễu Như Yên has already left for work, leaving behind a homemade breakfast and a sticky note on the table.
Honey, thanks for hosting last night. Vu-hien texted to say he really appreciates your hospitality. Love you. I stare right at that note and let out a cold laugh. Arriving at the office, I immediately call Secretary Lim in. Secretary Lim, I need you to check the recent moves of Spirit Investment. Look specifically into their collaboration progress with Liễu Nguyen's company. Right away, General Manager Zhang, she says. I also tell her to set up a meeting for me with Lee Ming-swin. You want to meet General Manager Lee? She asks, looking quite surprised. Exactly. I tell her, just say I have a project and want to collaborate. She understands and goes to arrange it immediately. By noon, Trương Vĩ sends me the latest updates on Tong Vu-hien. After getting home last night, that guy immediately called Liễu Như Yên. They talked for over an hour. Are you wondering what they said? The wiretap audio is pretty revealing. They were actually discussing last night's dinner party and analyzing my every reaction. Tong Vu-hien was clearly very anxious that I had already suspected something, while Liễu Như Yên was busy comforting him, swearing that I was completely clueless. So incredibly naive, I mutter quietly to myself. At 3 in the afternoon, I get a call from Secretary Lam. She says, General Manager Zhang. General Manager Lee agreed to meet at 7 tonight in the Jade Room at the Shangri-La Hotel. I acknowledge it. At exactly 7, I arrive at the Shangri-La Hotel. Lee Ming-swin is already waiting there. He is a sharp, capable man in his 40s with a huge reputation in the investment world.
General Manager Jang, I have heard so much about you. Li Ming-swan stands up and shakes my hand.
You are too polite, General Manager Lee. Thank you for making time to see me. After we sit down, Li Ming-sun cuts straight to the chase.
General Manager Zhang, I hear you have a project you want to collaborate on. That is absolutely right.
But before discussing any collaboration, I want to understand a bit about your recent investment directions. He explains that they are mostly focusing on emerging industries, things like the internet, artificial intelligence, and new energy sectors. What about traditional industries, I ask, like the advertising sector? A strange, brief flash of light crosses Li Ming-sun's eyes. He admits the advertising industry is also within their scope of consideration. Assuming the project is excellent enough, I probe further, mentioning I heard he is recently talking to an advertising firm. Oh, he asks, which company are you referring to? Creative Space Advertising, I say. That is Liu Nuyin's company. Li Ming-sun freezes for a second, then chuckles. General Manager Jang, you are not here to interrogate me about this, are you? How could I reply with a smile. I am just curious about your vision. Why set your sights on this particular small company? Honestly speaking, their financial situation is not exactly ideal right now. But there is the human element, he says. What human element? He calls Director Liu a very charming woman and adds that she is incredibly full of ideas. Now watch how he plays this. Li Ming-sun speaks with serious implication. My heart sinks. Seems he also has hidden motives regarding Liu Nuyin. Why is that? So, how do you plan to collaborate? A buyout for controlling rights? Then resource restructuring? I ask if Director Liu actually agreed to this. She is very smart and knows this is the absolute best choice, Li Ming-sun says, raising his wine glass. General Manager Zhang, surely you are not feeling reluctant to let it go. Why say that? I ask. Well, from what I know, you are this company's angel investor. If the company gets bought out, your shares will be heavily diluted. I tell him I do not care about money. I only care about Nuyin's choice. So you support her decision then? Of course, I tell him. I will support absolutely any choice she makes. Li Ming-sun nods in satisfaction. That is fantastic, he says. With your backing, this buyout is going to go very smoothly. However, I have one condition. I say it suddenly. What condition? I want to be involved in the management after the buyout. This catches him off guard. Li Ming-sun looks quite unsure. General Manager Li, I remind him, doing business means both sides have to benefit. Looking right into his eyes, I tell him he gets the company and I get the management rights, which is perfectly fair. All right then, he finally says, I can consider securing you a board seat. Deal. Happy collaborating. I raise my wine glass to seal it. Happy collaborating indeed. As I leave the hotel, a fully complete plan is already formed in my mind. If Liu Nuyin wants to sell the company for cash, I will happily make it happen for her. But what she absolutely does not know is that I am going to become the true controller of her company. When I get home, Liu Nuyin is already fast asleep. I don't bother her. Instead, I head straight to the study to organize every single piece of evidence I have. Photos, videos, recordings, financial reports. Every last thing is more than enough to prove her betrayal. But I am definitely not showing my hand just yet. I want to let her sink even deeper into this web of lies, right up until she can't turn back. The next morning, I act perfectly normal, having breakfast with Liu Nuyin. I ask her how she slept last night. She says she slept fine, just that she is feeling a little bit of a poor appetite. Liu Nuyin rubs her stomach gently, guessing it is probably pregnancy symptoms. I tell her to skip the gym today and just rest at home. No way, she says. Today has a really important training plan. I ask her what kind of training plan is that crucial. She claims Wu Hien wants to help her do a full body assessment. A body assessment? I almost burst out laughing right then and there. All right, just stay safe, I tell her. She nods. Then I casually mention that I grabbed dinner with a friend last night. I tell her he said the investment market is pretty rough right now, with tons of companies desperately looking for outside funding. I drop that on purpose, and Liu Nuyin's hand completely freezes for a second. Oh, really? She asks. Yeah, I reply. He even asked if I had any solid projects to recommend. What did you say? I told him I don't really understand much about investing. Told him to look for himself. I closely watch her reaction. Why? I ask her. Do you have any ideas? No, she says. I was just asking. I tell her if she ever needs it, I could help introduce her to a few investors. No need. My company is still operating perfectly well, Liu Nuyen says in a sudden rush. Is that so? I say. That is good then. Seeing that pure panic on her face, I just laugh coldly inside.
I mean, seriously. Liu Nuyen, your acting skills are honestly getting sloppier and sloppier by the minute.
Over the next few days, I start quietly setting up my chessboard. First up, I reach out through my personal connections to secretly investigate the complete financial situation of Liu Nuyen's company from top to bottom.
The actual results are even worse than anything I could have imagined. Her company is not just incredibly tight on cash flow right now, but they also have several massive unpaid debts pending. If those clients decide to demand repayment all at once, the whole company goes totally bankrupt on the spot.
And yet, she has never mentioned a single word of this to me.
Second step, I tell Trung Vi to keep tailing Tongvu Hien, and we discover his recent behavior is getting more and more suspicious.
Besides meeting up with Liu Nuyen on a constant basis, he is heavily borrowing money everywhere, even digging into some pretty shady underground channels. It absolutely looks like his black market debt issue has reached a seriously critical level right now. Third, I start making moves on the acquisition plan that Li Ming-Swan mentioned before, quietly becoming the real person pushing this whole deal forward behind the scenes.
What Li Ming-Sun doesn't know is that I have used a few shell companies to quietly buy up a chunk of shares in the Spirit investment firm. Once this whole acquisition is complete, I will become the actual person controlling Liu Yinyan's company from the shadows.
Fourth, Liu Nuyen comes home especially late. I ask her why she is back so late today. She says her company has a project requiring overtime.
She totally avoids my eyes. What kind of project is that urgent? I ask. She says it is an advertising plan for a new client, needing a presentation by tomorrow. So how is tomorrow's presentation prep going? I asked. Oh, it is going all right. Liu Nuyen clearly didn't expect me to ask that. Need any help? I asked, since I know a bit about advertising. No need, she says. I can handle it myself.
That is good then, I nod. Right, I might actually drop by your company tomorrow. She asks what I would be doing at her company.
Liu Nuyen obviously getting super tense. I tell her a friend wants to invest in advertising and ask me to check out the market situation. But I am super busy tomorrow, she stammers. I probably won't have time to host you. No worries, I reply. I can look around myself without bothering you at all. Liu Nuyen bites her lip và finally nods. Now pay close attention here. The very next afternoon, I show up at her company right on time.
It is a mid-sized advertising company, decorated in a pretty trendy style, and the staff members are all still very young.
Who are you looking for? The receptionist asks politely. I tell her I am looking for the general manager, Liu Nuyen, and that I am her husband.
Oh, you must be Mr. Zhang. The receptionist's eyes light up. Manager Liao mentions you quite often, she says. Just wait a moment and I will notify her right away.
Very soon after that, Liu Nuyen shows up, the expression on her face looking just a little bit unnatural.
Honey, why are you here? She asks. Didn't I say I would come take a look? I smile and reply. What, am I not welcome here? Of course you are welcome. Liu Nuyen forces a tight smile. Come here, she says. I will take you on a quick tour around. She leads me all around the company, carefully introducing what each specific department actually does. I just listen along while sharply observing the real situation, and it perfectly matches everything I already investigated. It has a flashy exterior, but in reality, there are tons of issues. The working attitude of many employees doesn't look very good at all. I even notice a few crucial positions are currently sitting completely empty. Yuyen, how is the company's business doing lately? I ask. It is pretty good, she replies. We are negotiating with a few major clients right now. Is that so? I ask. Which specific clients are they?
She claims it involves business secrets, so it is not very convenient to say. You can't even tell me about it? I press her. I stare right into her eyes. It is not that I don't trust you, she says. Just company policy. All right, I understand, I reply. After the tour finishes, we sit down together inside Liu Nuyen's private office.
Honey, what do you think of my company? Liu Nuyen asks. Very good, I reply. It has a lot of potential. But it seems like something is on your mind, I say. No, I don't, she replies. What could I be worried about? You know what, Nuyen? Our MC tells her he feels a real distance growing between them. She immediately plays dumb. What do you mean? He points out how she used to share everything with him. But lately, she carries it all completely alone. She claims she just didn't want him worrying over her work, but he reminds her they are married. Her problems are his problems. Liu Nuyen tops her head, totally at a loss for words. Right on cue, her assistant knocks and walks in. Director Liu has a phone call from CEO Li. That would be Li Ming-Swin. Our MC watches Liu Nuyen. Her expression instantly shifts. He tells her to answer it. He is in no rush. She quickly refuses. Tell him to wait. She will call back later. Liu Nuyen instructs her assistant. Once the door closes, our guy casually asks about this CEO Li. She stammers a bit, claiming he is just some regular client. Our MC pushes back. What kind of client is so incredibly important they personally call you directly? A pretty major client with potential for a partnership, she says. So why didn't you pick up the phone? Leaving a client hanging like that isn't exactly polite. She insists she just wanted to finish their conversation first. No worries. Work comes first. He tells her to go ahead and handle it. Liu Nuyen hesitates for a second before finally picking up. She apologizes to CEO Li for the wait. Then it is just quick agreements. She is considering it. She understands. Tomorrow works perfectly fine. She keeps her voice super low, but our MC still catches bits of it. They are definitely discussing an acquisition deal right now. After hanging up, her face looks even worse than before. He straight up asks her, "Are you hiding something from me right now?" Notice how she immediately denies it. She claims she wouldn't hide anything. So why has she been so incredibly distracted lately? She stammers, "It is just heavy work pressure." What kind of pressure? Managing the company. Liu Nuyen finally lets a tiny piece of the truth slip out. Is the company actually running into trouble? Not exactly trouble, she says. Just a pretty tight situation with their cash flow right now. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I could easily help you out. She just didn't want him stressing over her. He calls her silly. They are married, so her burdens are his too. Our MC reaches out, grabs her hand, and asks exactly how much money she needs. A really complicated emotion flashes right through her eyes. She turns him down, saying she already found a solution. What solution? An investor ready to pour funds in. Which investment firm? Spirit Investment, she mutters softly. That is Li Ming-Swin's company. Our guy pretends to be completely surprised by this. Do you know him? Our MC nods, mentioning he heard the guy is a fiercely sharp investor. So what kind of conditions did he offer? Still under negotiation, she says. Does she need him to help out? He might not be a pro, but an extra brain always helps. No need. She can handle it herself. Liu Nuyen shuts that idea down firmly. All right, he tells her to be super careful since investors are extremely tricky. Don't get played. She knows. Seeing her guilty little face, our MC just laughs coldly inside. This is where it gets wild. She thinks she can fool him? She has zero clue he is the one actually running this entire game. Leaving her company behind, our MC heads straight over to Spirit Investment. CEO Li Ming-Swin looks pretty surprised to see him walk in. Director John, what brings you here? Our guy sits right down, wanting an update on the acquisition. CEO Li says things are moving very smoothly. Director Liu basically agreed to their terms. What terms exactly? They throw down $50 million, taking a massive 70% chunk of the shares. She keeps 30% and stays on as CEO. That $50 million figure honestly catches our MC slightly off guard. It is way higher than his original estimate. He asks if that price isn't a bit steep. Truthfully, it is definitely on the high side. Li Ming-Swin just smirks, claiming he values Director Liu incredibly highly as a person. Values her for what exactly? Her business skills, and definitely her undeniable personal charm too. He says it with heavy implication. Our guy gets it instantly. Li Ming-Swin has motives for his wife, which is perfect. Let them tear each other apart. So when is the official signing? Tomorrow afternoon, since she wants to think it over a bit more. What is there left to hesitate about? Probably just reluctant to give up control. After all, she built that entire company from the ground up with her own two hands. He brings up a new proposal. To make sure this whole deal goes smoothly, he suggests pushing the timeline forward. Why the sudden rush? Because her cash flow is stretched incredibly thin right now. If they let this drag out, unpredictable variables might start popping up. Li Ming-Swin nods in agreement. Completely right. He will pressure her to make a quick decision. Also, absolutely no need to worry about his management role. A board seat is already waiting for him. Our guy thanks CEO Li and walks right out of Spirit Investment.
He dials manager Trung V immediately. Any fresh updates on Tong Vu Yin? Yes, Jang. His recent behavior has been incredibly shady and weird.
This afternoon, he met up with some really sketchy-looking people. What does he mean by that?
They looked exactly like black market debt collectors, and their conversation did not look friendly at all. Our MC orders him to keep watching and report anything new instantly.
Getting back home that night, Leo New Ian has already finished cooking dinner. She sweetly asks where her husband went so late today.
Just meeting some friends to discuss business, he casually says, sitting down. He notes she seems in a pretty good mood. Just normal, she claims.
Liu Nguyen forces a stiff smile. He then asks how her company's investment deal is coming along.
Still negotiating, but tomorrow should have a result, she replies. He nods. Getting it settled early will definitely take a load off her mind.
Yin nods, but I can clearly see she is incredibly tense inside. Right after dinner, I purposely mention I want to get some rest early tonight.
I tell her I am a bit tired and heading upstairs first, reminding her to sleep early too. She agrees. Once upstairs, I pay close attention to every little sound down below.
Sure enough, just a few moments later, I hear Liu Nguyen making a phone call.
She tells Vu Hien tomorrow is completely finalized. She says it is risky, but there is literally no other choice. Then she asks if his debt problem is sorted out yet.
What? They are making a move? She tells him not to panic. She will figure it out. Hearing this exact exchange, I finally understand everything.
Tống Vũ Hiền là bệnh heavily pressed for cash. Liu Nguyen wants to use this 50 million to clear his debts, and then the two of them plan to take the remaining money and run far away together.
Just a truly pathetic, backstabbing pair. But they have zero idea that this 50 million is actually a trap closing right around them. The very next morning, Liu Nguyen wakes up super early, looking incredibly stressed.
She calls me honey, saying she might be home pretty late tonight because of an important company meeting. I casually ask her what kind of meeting.
She claims it is the final negotiation with the investor. I smile and wish her success, telling her to call me anytime if she needs my advice on the deal.
She thanks me and gives me this tight little hug. Honestly, this is probably the very last time she will ever get to call me her husband like this.
Over at my own company this morning, I purposely set up a meeting just to create a solid alibi for myself. Then, at 3 p.m.,
I get a quick phone call from Secretary Lam. She passes on the message that the official signing ceremony with the investors has finally started.
Got it. Later at 5 p.m., I get another call, this time from Lee Ming-sun. He tells me the signing is completely finished.
He says Director Liu was highly cooperative. I say that is great, asking about the celebration party. It is at 8 tonight at the Shangri-La Hotel. I will be there.
Hanging up the phone, a really cold smile creeps onto my face. Liu Nguyen, tonight is the exact moment everything finally falls apart for you.
At exactly 8 p.m., I arrive at the Shangri-La Hotel. The banquet hall is already pretty packed with familiar faces from our business circle.
Li Ming's son spots me right away and steps over to greet me. He warmly welcomes me as CEO Zhang. I congratulate CEO Lee on successfully acquiring yet another outstanding enterprise. He smiles and replies that he really has to thank my support for this win. We raise our glasses to this brand new partnership. After taking a sip, I scan the room but cannot spot Liu Nguyen. I ask if she has arrived yet. He says she had minor things to handle but will arrive soon. Half an hour passes before Liu Nguyen finally shows up. She is wearing a black business suit and looks completely exhausted. She apologizes to Li Ming-sun for being late, but he politely waves it off, saying she worked hard today. Li Ming-sun stays highly polite. Stepping up, I pretend to be concerned, asking Nguyen what is wrong since she looks incredibly pale.
Liu Nguyen forces a weak smile, claiming she is just a bit tired. I immediately suggest she sit down and rest for a minute.
I gently guide her down onto the sofa, but I can clearly feel her hands trembling. Sitting right beside her, I ask if something is secretly bothering her. She denies it. Absolutely nothing. She actively avoids my gaze the entire time. Li Ming's son walks over then, praising Director Leo's for a highly successful signing and welcoming her as a partner. She politely replies, hoping for his continued guidance. After Liu Nguyen responds, Li Ming-sun suddenly turns to me. He offers to introduce the brand new members of the company board of directors. He announces that starting tomorrow, I will officially be a director on their board. Hearing this, Liu Nuyen snaps her head toward me in pure, unhidden shock.
She stammers, asking how her husband became a board director. I calmly tell her I just forgot to mention that I also heavily invested in this very acquisition.
Super casually, I reply. She stammers out, "Since when?" I explain that CEO Lai mentioned needing extra funding a few days ago, and it seemed like a solid investment opportunity. Liu Nuyen's face instantly drains of all color.
She asks if we actually knew each other beforehand. Li Ming-swan laughs, confirming I am actually an incredibly old friend of his.
Li Ming-swan smiles brightly, adding that this entire acquisition only went so smoothly because of all the major help I provided behind the scenes.
Liu Nuyen just stares at me blankly, her eyes now brimming with sheer panic. She asks what I mean by this. I casually claim I just wanted to support her career better.
Smiling, I point out that we are basically colleagues now. Her voice shakes completely as she asks if I have known about everything all along.
Knew about what? I pretend to be totally confused, saying of course I knew about her wanting to sell the company. I remind her she quite literally told me about the deal yesterday. Looking right into her eyes, I ask if she regrets it. Liu Yuyin is completely speechless, just vigorously shaking her head. Now watch this. The trap finally snaps shut right here. My phone rings, and it is Trung V reporting a major emergency.
Trung V sounds incredibly rushed. I ask him what happened. He reveals Dong Wu-hian got completely beaten down and is currently lying in a hospital room.
I shoot a quick glance over at Liu Nuyen. She definitely overheard the entire phone call, and her pale expression somehow gets even worse.
I ask if it is serious. Trung V confirms the injuries are pretty bad, adding that the attackers warned the next time he misses a payment, it will not just be a simple beating.
Understood. I hang up the phone, staring right at Liu Nuyen. I tell Nuyen her personal trainer just ran into some serious trouble. She jolts up in a complete panic, demanding to know what happened to him. I casually mention he got beaten up and is hospitalized. Without thinking, she blurts out that she has to go see him, frantically rushing toward the exit. Hold on a second. I grab her arm tight. Why the sudden rush? She stammers that he is her coach, so she should care about him. I just stare. Is he really just your coach? I lock onto her eyes with a heavy stare. Liu Yuyin completely freezes up, completely unsure how to even answer that. The rest of the banquet hall starts noticing the tension. Heads turn our way, and Li Ming-swan steps right up, asking if something is wrong.
Oh, it is nothing major at all. Nguyen's coach just had a little accident. I say totally calmly. She wants to visit him, so should I take her, or should I join the two of you?
Li Ming-swan tries to offer help, but I quickly shut him down. I tell Mr. Li to just keep entertaining the other guests tonight, and I will handle taking Nuyin there myself.
He agrees, telling us to reach out if we need anything at all. Then I practically drag Liu Nuyin straight out of that banquet hall. Inside the car, Liu Nuyin just cries nonstop. She calls me her husband, clearly wanting to say something, but the words completely choke up. I tell Nuyin to just spit it out, reminding her we are not supposed to keep any secrets. Finally, Liu Nuyin forces the words out. She admits she did me wrong. I ask how she wronged me. She brings up Wu Hien. I push her. What about Wu Hien? I already know, but I make her say they are together. Liu Nuyin drops her head. I ask what she means. She stammers that she betrayed me. Betrayed me? I let out a cold laugh. Since exactly when?
3 months ago. 3 months. I hit the brakes, turning to look right at her. So the baby is his. Liu Nuyen just cries and nods.
Even though I already knew the truth, hearing her actually say it out loud still sends this sharp, bitter pain straight through my chest.
I ask her why. Why betray me like this? She cries and claims she does not even know why, whispering that she just could not control herself.
Could not control yourself? I let out this completely mocking laugh. Was our entire 3-year marriage really that cheap in your eyes?
She denies it, claiming she was suffering too and never wanted this. So I snap back. Then why not tell me a lot sooner?
Why keep lying to my face for so long? She cries she was terrified I would never forgive her, terrified of losing this family. But I point out, hasn't she already lost it anyway?
I ask coldly. Besides, was she not planning to grab that 50 million and run away with him anyway? You can imagine the look on her face right now. Liu Nuyin stares in absolute horror, realizing I know everything.
I just pull out my phone and hit play.
The audio plays her exact conversation with Tong Vu Hien, detailing their whole secret getaway plan. Hearing her own voice playback, Liu Nuyen completely breaks down in tears.
She calls me her husband again, sobbing that she was so incredibly wrong, begging for forgiveness. She clings tight to my arm, crying absolutely pitifully.
It is way too late. I push her hands away, telling Yu Yen that some things, once done, can simply never be taken back.
She asks in pure despair what I actually want. Divorce. I drop the word without a single ounce of hesitation. She repeats it. Divorce.
Liu Nuyen just stares at me completely blankly, looking like she cannot even believe her own ears. Yes, we are getting a divorce. I repeat it one more time, my voice entirely firm. There is absolutely no reason left for us to keep going. She cries out, begging me to stop.
She begs me, promising she knows she messed up. She really knows it. Liu Nuyen grabs my hand, tears falling like absolute rain.
She offers to completely cut ties with him, even get rid of the baby, just begging me not to leave. I stare right back at Nuyen, my heart completely cold and undisturbed.
Does she really think I can ever believe her again? She swears she will change. I tell her she has sworn way too many times. I shove her hand away. 3 years ago, she swore to love me forever, and look what happened. Liu Nuyen chokes up, totally unable to speak. Besides, does she think I want a divorce just because she cheated? I let out a cold laugh at Nuyen. She is way too naive. She asks what I mean. Her selling off the company? Did she honestly think I was completely clueless about that? I watch her totally terrified expression, bringing up Tong Vu Hien's massive shady debts. She wanted to use that full 50 million to clear his name, and then the two of them would just run off together, right?
Liu Nuyen's face drains completely white. She stammers, asking how I could possibly know all this. I know everything.
I pull out a thick folder right then. It holds all the solid evidence against the two of them. Hotel bookings, massive money transfers, recorded phone calls. Literally, not a single detail is missing.
Liu Nuyen, trembling, takes the folder. She flips through just a few pages before her entire body goes completely limp.
Now, watch the trap finally snap shut. She begs to know how I got this. I tell Nuyen it does not matter. She lost. I tell her calmly that she lost absolutely everything. She asks what I mean. Did she really think selling her company meant she just gets 50 million?
I shake my head at her pure, foolish naivety. She stutters quietly, clearly realizing something absolutely terrifying right in that exact moment.
That is right. I am the actual one pulling the strings behind this entire buyout.
I finally look at her and reveal the harsh truth. Li Ming's son is really just my proxy. I hold the vast majority of those investment shares in my own hands, which means her precious company completely belongs to me now.
Liu Nuyen just stands there like a frozen statue, completely speechless for a while. Finally, she asks why I would ever treat her this way.
Her voice is shaking, weak like a flickering candle. Treat her this way? I let out a sharp, mocking laugh right at Nuyen. She betrayed me first, lied to me first. I am just giving her a harsh taste of her own medicine. She panics about the 50 million.
That 50 million will be paid per our contract, but there is one tiny little catch. I stare right at her. She must work at my company for 3 full years, or she has to refund every single penny.
Liu Nuyen finally realizes my entire master plan. I did this all completely on purpose.
Of course it was on purpose, he calmly admits. Did she really think he would just let them take his money and go enjoy a beautiful life? You are too vicious, she cries. Vicious? He laughs coldly. Compared to what she did to him, how does this even scratch the surface? But what about Vu Hien and his massive debt? Not his problem, he says, looking completely unbothered. Since they chose betrayal, they can face the consequences. Liu Nuyen is totally devastated. She slumps down in the car seat, crying helpless tears.
Jiang Baktan, I hate you. She suddenly looks up, eyes full of pure venom. Hate him.
He finds that pretty hilarious. What right does she have? She plotted against him from the start. Plotted?
He just shakes his head. If she had not betrayed him, would any of this be happening? If she had not cheated, would he have investigated her? Had she not planned to run off with his cash, would he have set this trap? In the end, she brought this entirely on herself.
New Eden is totally speechless, knowing he is speaking straight facts. Now, he says, she has two choices.
He looks right at her. Now watch this absolute power move. First, work 3 years on contract. Then she can take the money and leave. Second, leave right now. Return all the funds, and he will press charges to throw Tong Vu Hien in prison. How could you threaten me like this? This isn't a threat. It's reality, he says coldly. The choice is entirely up to her.
Nguyen stays silent for a long time before weakly picking the first option. A very smart choice, he nods back in response. But there is one more condition. Cut all ties with Tong Vu Hien immediately, or he will ensure that guy spends his life locked in a cell. She says he can't do that. He can't? He just casually pulls out another entire file folder. It is all of Vu Yin's criminal evidence. Fraud, embezzlement, illegal fundraising. Any single charge is enough to give him a nasty taste of hard labor. Nguyen stares at the documents, the deep despair in her eyes growing heavier. She promises him, finally surrendering. Very well. He smoothly packs the files away.
Now they are heading to the hospital so she can dump Vu Hien in person. Right now? Yep. He starts the car. Stalling only hurts her lover more.
Nguyen does not say another word, just sitting there quietly as her tears keep falling.
He knows that from this exact moment, he is completely dead to her. But who cares? He already died in her heart 3 months ago anyway. At the hospital room, Tong Vu Hien is lying in bed, face wrapped in bandages, looking pretty badly injured. Seeing her walk in, his eyes light up. You came. He tries to sit up. Don't move. Just stay right there. She walks up to the bedside, but does not lovingly stroke his face with deep care like she usually does. You Ian, they were so ruthless. But he freezes mid-sentence. You know exactly why. He just spotted our guy, standing right in the doorway. Mr. Zhang, why are you here too? His face instantly turns pale white. Just checking your injuries, Bak Tan walks in. Heard it was quite serious. Just minor scratches. He stammers back. Vũ Hiên look away, dodging his gaze. Vũ Hiên, ai có sẵn một thứ cần nói với cô. Như Yên speaks up suddenly, her voice extremely calm. What is it? Let's break up. That sentence hits like lightning. Vu Hien just stares at her, completely stunned. Excuse me? You Ian, what are you saying? I said we are breaking up, she repeats one more time. From today on, let's never see each other again. Why? He panics. Did he threaten you? He points at Bak Tan. No one threatened me. It is my own choice. Impossible. How could you suddenly want to break up? New Ying, please tell me what on earth actually happened to you. Nothing happened. I just thought it through. She looks at him. Vu Hien, we just aren't a good fit. Not a fit? He gets agitated. You're carrying my child and say we aren't a fit? I will handle the baby, she replies coldly. Handle it? You plan to abort it? He tries getting up, but the sharp pain stops him immediately. Yu Yan, you can't treat me like this. We promised to be together. Those words don't count anymore, she says. You can't do this. He is practically begging her now. Just think about our happy times together. Think about our big plan. What plan? Bak Tan suddenly cuts in. Realizing he just slipped up, Vu Hien hastily shuts his mouth. No plan at all. Oh, really? He pulls out his phone and plays a recorded clip. The audio clearly blasts their entire conversation about stealing the cash and running away. Hearing this, Vu Hien's face turns completely pale as ash. You recorded us? Not just recorded, he says, pulling out some photos. I have these too. The photos show their intimate hotel moments, clear angles, solid proof. Mr. Zhang, please listen to my explanation. He tries to explain. No need, Bak Tan interrupts. Mr. Tong, I came here today to deliver some news. What news? From today on, New Yin will never see you again. Your relationship is finished. On what grounds? Tong Vu Hien demands furiously. What gives you the absolute right to decide our relationship for us?
based on this exact thing. I toss a pretty thick file on the table, all his criminal evidence. Fraud, massive embezzlement, and totally illegal fundraising.
Every single charge is enough to lock you up for years. Tong Vu Hien stares at the file, absolute panic in his eyes. Since when did you investigate me? Since the very first day you approached New Yin. I replied coldly, Mr. Tong, did you really think your little schemes could fool absolutely everyone?
That black market loan, did you actually borrow it, or was it just another scam? And getting close to New Yin, was it genuine, or did you have some other hidden motive? Tong Vu Hien goes completely speechless. He knows I have him totally cornered now.
Now you have exactly two choices, I continue. Number 1, get out of this city immediately. Never show your face in front of New Yin again.
I can pretend like none of this ever happened.
Number 2, keep messing around and I hand this evidence to the police. You can reflect on your life behind bars. Which one is it?
Tong Vu Hien looked over at Liu Nuyen. Her expression is ice cold, showing zero attachment. Nuyen, do you really want to treat me like this?
He asks his final question. I am sorry. Liu Nuyen replies with just those 2 words. Dong Vu Hien looks entirely defeated. I choose the first option.
He mutters weakly. A very smart choice. I nod. Leave within 3 days, or you can face the consequences all on your own.
With that said, I turn and walk straight out of the hospital room. Liu Nuyen follows right behind me. At the door, she glances back at Tong Vu Yin. That is her very last look at him. From that moment on, those two never cross paths ever again. Stepping out of the hospital, Liu Nuyen suddenly stops. Zhang Baktan, are you satisfied yet? Not quite enough, I reply straight to her face.
What more do you want? Tomorrow, we head to the civil registry to file for divorce. Divorce? Liu Nuyen stares at me in utter shock.
Did you not say you wanted me to work for 3 years? Business is business, and divorce is divorce. Those are 2 completely different things. I explain it clearly. You can keep working here, but I am absolutely not continuing this marriage anymore. But why?
Because I cannot forgive your betrayal. I look right at her and say, Yu Yen, some damage just cannot be fixed, no matter what.
Liu Nuyen stays silent for a long while before finally nodding. I understand. The very next morning, we head to the civil registry. The divorce process goes smoothly, taking barely half an hour. When the clerk hands us our official divorce certificates, tears start streaming down Liu Nuyen's face all over again. From now on, we are practically strangers to each other.
She chokes on her words. Not strangers, I correct her. Colleagues. Do not forget you still have to work for me for 3 whole years.
Liu Nuyen forcing một fan smile. She says nothing else, stepping out of the civil registry as we both get into our own cars. Watching her car disappear at the intersection, I let out a long, heavy sigh.
Just like that, our 3-year marriage ends. Now watch how crazy this gets. I was mysteriously thrown into this bizarre world, and years have actually passed. No grand quests, 0 system prompts. Inflation is so insane that money gets counted in the billions for the smallest things. Trashy guys and homerakers are popping up everywhere like weeds. Plus, some kind of weird, unseen force keeps constantly chewing away at the mind of a normal guy like me. Luckily, I met a pretty lovely girl along the way. Maybe I can actually carve out a decent life for myself in this crazy world. It is just that lately, I keep forgetting things. My old memories are fading fast, so I need to prepare a bit. What should I do right now? Guess I will craft a ring for myself. I can use encrypted info to constantly remind me of who I really am. I definitely will not forget. I can leave this place. I know for sure I will pull it off.